In an effort to improve as storytellers ourselves, we believe it is imperative for us to study what came before us. Today we will be discussing another perfect scene, this one coming to us from one of our favorite Pixar films of recent release, Onward. Written by Dan Scanlon, Keith Bunin, and Jason Headley, and directed by Dan Scanlon. We're going to be looking at the scene where our heroes first meet Octavia Spencer's Manticore.
Oh, Manticore!
Coming into the scene, our heroes Ian and Barley Lightfoot are on a quest for a phoenix gem to fully bring back their father from the dead for a day. And of course, their quest requires a map to the phoenix gem from the legendary Manticore. And, of course, we have a case of situational irony. This film is full of this kind of irony, where the situation that we find ourselves in is an ironic take on the idea that the film sets up for us.
Is there anything else you're forgetting to tell me?
No.
Happy birthday! Come join us on our quest to make your birthday party the very, very best. Hey!
Barley sets up that the Manticore is this legendary creature and they are going to have to convince her to give them the map to the Phoenix Gem. And that's technically true. However, the scene takes a turn when we find out that the Manticore has turned her tavern into a restaurant akin to a tourist location, with the coloring pages, the goofy mascot, and the song for the patron's birthday. This is a perfect example of situational irony, because this is exactly what would happen to a Manticore's tavern in a modern society.
Okay, so the tavern changed a little over the years, but the Manticore is still the real deal.
And speaking of that modern society, what this scene and the entire film is saying about society is that when we lose sight of the human experience and only make it about the capitalistic hustle and bustle of trying to make it, we can end up losing out on the very things that make us who we are. The Manticore was around when there wasn't somebody ready to sue her when they got hurt on a quest that she sent them on. She lived in a time where she didn't have to worry about the woes of owning a business in a capitalistic society.
Look at that Manticore! She looks like she lived to take risks!
That Manticore didn't have investors to look out for. She didn't have payroll to cover.
She could just fly out the door whenever she wanted and slay a magma beast!
Are you gonna fix the machine or not?
Yeah, in a minute.
And what she has become is what our main characters could become if they don't go on and complete their quest. They could find themselves without the one last time with their dad and end up like all the rest of the world, stuck. And that is the main conflict in the scene. On the surface, it seems like the conflict is getting the map to the Phoenix Gem. However, that turns out to be rather easy. No, the conflict that is taking place in this scene is between the fun and free spirit of the Lightfoot brothers and the capitalistic pressure on the Manticore. The Manticore has been trying to keep her business alive and mitigate the pressures that the society around her has put on her way of life.
But so what? Whoever said you have to take risks in life to have an adventure? Apparently, you did.
This scene works because, just like the Manticore, all of us adults feel the pressure to make ends meet and carve out our lives. And all the kids in the audience just see that the Manticore is in the way of our heroes and their quest. This scene is layered so that no matter the age of the audience, it will resonate with them.
It's just, I've never met my dad, and...
Look, I'm sorry about that. But if you get hurt on one of my quests, guess who gets sued and loses her tavern?
I can't take that kind of risk.
And the only way that our heroes are able to open the Manticore's eyes to the unfortunate situation she finds herself in is to show her what she used to be like. And that's exactly what we as adults need sometimes. We need to be shown how to have fun like we did as kids. It is so easy for us to fall into the rat race of being adults with jobs and worries on our minds. But this scene shows us that if we lose that side of ourselves, we will be exactly what we don't want to be.
This place used to be dangerous.
Dangerous!
And wild.
Wild!
I used to be dangerous and wild.
Dangerous and wild!
No child wants to grow up to be a drone in the workforce for the rich. This scene and the film as a whole send the message that losing the bright-eyed adventurer in us is truly losing our humanity and surrendering to the machine. And that is something that neither we nor the Manticore want to do. And that's why this is a perfect scene.